Hello, everyone, and welcome to Community Talk number 27. My name is Colson, and I will be hosting for today. We have a very exciting agenda today with a lot of community updates and wonderful segments. And some of the segments, the topics today will include, among others, the new migration tools, the new community managers, DAPCON Berlin, EAT Accra, and some updates from India. And before we get into these segments, I would like to share a couple of community updates with you. So the Graph is going to be sponsoring Missouri Mainnet, which starts tomorrow in the beautiful New York City. Additionally, in New York City, there will be bounties up for grabs at Eat New York. So if you're going to be hacking at that event, make sure you come say hi to the team. Members of Graph Advocates DAO, Pinax, and EdgeNode have represented the Graph at DAPCON Berlin last week, and we will have Andrea on a little bit later in this call to shine some light on that event. Members of Graph Advocates DAO also helped onboard 28 new Graph Advocates since Community Talk 26 from countries including India, Holland, and our first Graph Advocate from Bolivia. So that was very cool to see. The new advocates are already working on their new contributions, so we're hoping to showcase some of those in next episode of Community Talk. And as promised since last time, a couple of advocate highlights. Since last community talk, some Graph advocates have hosted a hackathon in Wari, Nigeria. They gave multiple workshops in colleges in India, and they did a very good job at translating all of the official Graph documentation to a multitude of different languages. There are a lot of new episodes of the GRT IQ podcast since last time we spoke. We have number 129 with Marcus Rain, who is a developer success and relations at EdgeNode. We had 130 with Matthew Darwin, who is the chief infrastructure officer and co-founder at Pinax. We had 131 with Marak, CTO at C Labs and one of the founders at Cello. We had 132 with Kevin Jones, who is a developer relations engineer at EdgeNode. And we had 133 with Anton, who is the product manager for L2s and the graph at P2P, which is one of our cool indexes in the ecosystem. We also had the monthly core dev updates from Pinax, GraphOps, The Guild, EdgeNode, Streaming Fast, Semiotic, Labs, and Geo, and we will posting the links to them in the show notes here or in the chat here. After these wonderful community updates, I would like to invite our first speaker. We are going to hear from Paul, who is a member of Graph Advocates DAO and the Graphronauts, and he is going to speak about the new migration tools. So, Paul, if you would like to share your screen and take it away, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Colson. I hope everyone can see this screen.
Yeah, it's full screen as well. Nice.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the transfer tools and focusing on the delegation portion, but it should be noted there is transfer tools to also transfer subgraphs from L1 to L2 and also delegation that's in a vesting contract. But I'm going to be speaking of the ones that I know most, and this is the transfer tools in regards to delegation. So as a delegator, when you first log into the Graph Explorer, your indexer has to migrate some of their stake in order to see this notification you'll see when you first log in. It kind of gives you, this is a little bit of a dated one because this is snippets from the testnet before anything, and it should be noted the rewards increased now to 25%. So this is what you will see when you log into the Graph Explorer. And once, if you are intending to move them, you hit this transfer delegation button. And the next screen you'll see when you do that, you will see your current wallet here, and it will auto populate the current wallet that you're using here. But it should be noted you can transfer wallets. And when I did it, I transferred from normal MetaMask to Ledger wallet. So you can do that as well. This shows your initial delegation, but there was some people with questions asking what happens to my rewards, the unrealized rewards. At first, I'm not sure if it's fixed at this point, but it wasn't showing the unrealized rewards, but they do transfer over, and it was confirmed through looking through Etherscan that all your rewards unrealized goes over to L2 as well. So when you're looking at this on this section, it shows you a little bit of information on the indexer, their information on L2. It shows the estimated APR, the cuts that they will have, and it's important to note their capacity. You don't want to transfer over if your delegator is over, I'm sorry, your indexer is over delegated, which would leave no room for your delegation. So if that's the case, if you see a negative number here, it's probably best to reach out to your indexer and ask them if they're going to be adding more stake or fixing that before you complete your transaction. So if everything checks out and pans out and you're ready to hit transfer delegation, the next screen that will populate is a countdown that takes about 20 minutes to transfer your stake from L1 to L2. So expect to see that. And once your timer completes, you'll see your delegation has successfully migrated over, and it says to check the Arbitrum on the Graph Explorer, which you can change the network by once you log in and connect your wallet. You can toggle back and forth from L1 to L2, and you should see your stake here on this page once you hit your profile. And you can get to this page by clicking on your wallet on the top right of the Graph Explorer. Another way to check your transaction hash is to log into Etherscan. The link is here. You plug in your wallet address once you first log in and look at all the transactions. And if you hover over, you'll see this message here, transfer delegation to L2. And that's the one right here is your transaction hash that you want to check. And once you're in your transaction, your wallet will show up on the left here. It shows some smart contract information. It'll show here the amount that transfers over, and this will include your unrealized rewards. It'll show here the gas you paid, the GUI, the charge of basically measure of gas. And down here, there's a box that you have to kind of click to convert. And it'll show your address here, which should match here if you don't change wallets. But if you change wallets, it'll show a new address. And this is your indexer's address as the beneficiary. Pablo put a message out on Discord basically saying that there was some UI issues on the Explorer. And if you have any concerns of your transaction, whether it took place successfully, he gave this link here, which I will provide in the chat afterwards. But I believe since he put this out, the subgraph that puts out this information depends on has been updated and synced properly, so it should show updated on the Graph Explorer. Once you log in there, just check your transaction. You put your transaction hash here, and sorry, it's covered up for me. It shows success at the bottom here. I just wanted to point out two things that two indexers have published dashboards to help you see what the migration status is. One is by DAppLooker, and it shows how much the rewards are, pushed to L2. It's 25% as right now, and at the time when I put this link, 9% of the total shares have migrated so far. And I'll share this link afterwards. And also there's a P2P dashboard that kind of gives the same feel where it tells you how much rewards is going on and how much has transferred so far, and it goes into more detail of each indexer and how much stake they have over. And that is all I had. I would suggest if you have any questions on migrating a subgraph or a vested contract to kind of ask within the Discord.
Cool. Thank you so much for that. I'm wondering if there are any questions from the audience, and maybe we can help them out either in voice or in the chat here. I did not see any in the chat yet, but there might be some questions.
I also wanted to point out there is a video to help tutorial by the graph to help go step by step for the migrate transfer tools, and I'll post that as well right now.
Cool, amazing. And I see some nice works in the chat room, so that is great to see. If there are any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat room, and we will be trying to help you out in there. For our second segment, we will hear from Paolo, who is a member of Graph Advocates now and a member of the Graph Foundation, and he will be speaking about the new community managers in the ecosystem. So, Paolo, are you here?
I'm here. Thank you, Colson. Thank you, and hi, everyone. I do apologize. I don't have any presentation, so I will try to. I hope I will be very clear. So basically, the Graph Foundation, has taken a significant step by empowering community managers in specific region, and the region where we now have local community managers are Latin America, and I think we have Lorena here that everyone knows, and she's the leader of the Latin America. And also we have now India, and probably a lot of you knows already Charchit, that is our community manager, and also a grantee with the Graph India. And we have also Asia Pacific, where we have actually two community managers. One is based in Vietnam, and is also an indexer of the graph in the Arbitrum. Actually started the indexer for Arbitrum, and the name is Toa Lee. And we have also Anthony in China, and we have also Ahmed, that is also a well-known community member, also known as Peter Pan in Middle East. So at the moment, we have 5 community managers with the goal also to expanding more into Africa. For now, we put on hold Africa, but yeah, we are also planning to go there. So basically, why we choose this one, and for example, we don't have Europe, North America. So basically, we have recognized that there are certain areas of the world where there is more potential, especially in this region. So where we have actually a lot of developers, like for example, India is literally a powerhouse for developers. And at the moment, so we are focusing mostly on onboarding more developers. So this initiative of community manager is also, to grow community, but a special focus in to grow the developer community. But must be also, outlined that this is also a collaborative effort in partnership with the Advocates DAO. So, this is really a joint effort, because actually now all these community managers, so some of them are also DAO members, but anyway, we also establish a channel between community managers and DAO members, because what we need to do, we need to onboard more advocates, specifically like more developer, and the advocates program, I think, is the best way, is the entry point for Web3. So this is really, a common effort. So the Graph Foundation with these community managers, they are working hand in hand with the Advocates DAO. So really, it's really, everyone is very thankful for the work of the Advocates program and what it's doing, to empower more developers. So I think we have also Lorena here in this call. Yeah, Lorena. So for example, with Lorena, so it's one of the most, senior leadership between the community managers. So what we are doing basically is we meet regularly, almost, weekly, sometimes even daily. So the goal of the community manager is mainly to onboard new advocates and also to host events and meetups. And for example, in Latin America, we are now planning to do a lot of events and meetup. Actually, Latin America is a huge community like India. So we really need to have not only one community manager, but generally we tend to have also some close coordinators. So for example, like Lorena's close coordinators, or Charchit in India has some also internal groups where they work to coordinate the activity, because one person is sometimes not enough to cover this huge region. So also, Lorena, I don't know if you want to share something about for example, how we focus. For example, in case of Latin America, we focus on specific countries and the initiative we are planning to do. I don't know if you want to say something.
Hello. Thank you, Paolo. Well, as Paolo mentioned, we are trying to develop our different regions in the world. Related with Latin America, we are focused on try to onboard more technical advocates. Okay, focus on developers, focus on technical people that can contribute in a different way for this ecosystem, for the graph ecosystem. For this year, we already have on board many devs, developers, and other technical background. And we have 3 months before end of the year, and we are planning 2 different events. We are focused on Ethereum Mexico. We will have an side event in Ethereum, for Ethereum Mexico next month, and before the end of the year, because the graph anniversary is on December 17, we are planning to have another event in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. These 2 events we are working on, but we are working on some online events focused on Latin America and focused on devs. So we can't say more about that because we are not so finished this work, but many of the advocates, they are working very hard. It's not my work, it's work for a team, and we are working very hard with the team. I see here Livia. She's working very hard. Livia it's an advocate from Peru, and she's working very hard with this focus. So I don't see others advocate not from Latin America now. Sorry if are another advocate here. And I'm checking. Sorry. Silka. Silka is from Latin America. She lives in Miami, and as we say, Miami is in North America, but is very Latin America city. So she's working very hard too to onboard more people in Miami for the graph ecosystem. So we are working on that. I don't know if I can say more now because we have not confirmed yet. But for the next community talk, we will have more clear information. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you, Lorena. So yeah, so there is a lot of work undergoing into this community. Also, I wanted also to mention the incredible work that is doing also Graph India. And again, this is a common effort because it's also supported by the DAO, the Advocates DAO, by a grant. And so, I mean, also we have also our rockstar Pranav is here and probably can also, it was also in the tour with the people from Graph India and can also probably share, how, I mean, the quality of work that these people are doing. So they are learning so fast. Most of them, they are also newly appointed advocates, but they are really, keen to make a contribution for the ecosystem. And for example, they were now recently in the Push Protocol tour that Graph India was, supporting and is touring now all India, some major colleges. So Pranav was also very kind to help, the local community of Graph India to train them and, to speed up the onboarding of these advocates so they can do, this workshop on their own. So, I mean, it's a lot going on in this community, but yeah, I mean, this is just the beginning. We started basically to push, I think, a few months ago, 3-4 months ago, but yeah, I mean, so far so good. So, and also thank you to all the DAO members here for the support.
Cool. Thank you so much, Paolo, and thank you for the kind words. And I would like to say that, for example, in India, Advocates DAO had some trouble getting a lot of contributions going because we had nobody on the field there. And now that we have charged it, it's going a lot easier. And also the help from Pranav is helping a lot. Pranav is here now, and I'm hoping that his mic works. And he's going to tell us a little bit about recent developments in India and also about the stuff that is going to happen. It was already introduced by Paolo a bit, so I'm hoping that Pranav can shine a bit more light on it.
Yeah, totally. Can you guys hear me properly?
Yep.
All right, let's go. Okay, so basically, on the community work we are doing in India, I just want to take a step back and talk a little bit, first of all, about the Indian geography in general. Uh, the engineering talent in India is close to, like, crazy. I always say that the number of graduates, the computer science graduates that graduate from India every year, is the population of Israel. So there is a lot of technical talent that exists in India, but most of them are, like, focused or given exposure towards really really old technology, maybe .NET and stuff like that, PHP, WordPress. To improve those situations, there have been a few initiatives taken by Web3, protocols, especially the Graph and a few others, to go in different cities around the country and let people know what Web3 is, how it can change lives, how it has changed lives, how it has created a difference technologically, how decentralized different applications work, as well as making them understand the world of blockchains, Ethereum, and indexing, to be specific, on the Graph. And in that kind of an effort, the Graph India community, the Advocates DAO, especially in India, and a little bit contribution of me have been trying to focus on those terms and have something around that for Indian MAU market, which is monthly active user market, which is so big in India, to capture a lot of education around subgraphs in India. And we have had few previous processes, and one of such process that we are currently working towards, or a program that we are working towards, is called the BRB, which is a program which is led by the Push team. And in this, we are covering about 22, if I'm not wrong, 22 or 23 cities across India, going in one college in every major city of the country, and telling people about Web3, blockchain, Ethereum, and then building a subgraph on top. I've been lucky enough that Paolo, the foundation and Graph India community, sent me to two different locations in this program, one of them being Indore and the other one being Kochi, few second tier major cities in India, and educating people around subgraphs. Those were the people or the students that had not had the knowledge of, let's say, Node.js, and at the end of the workshop were, like, happily able to build a subgraph with a full knowledge of Ethereum and blockchain. So given the, given the reach that Graph India community with Paolo's, leadership has been able to go, is crazy. And just to come up with those two workshops and give you certain numbers, about 220 students attended that Web3 workshop. About in the at last, about 60 of them were able to build a subgraph, and they were able to query a ERC20 token. In the Kochi community, there were about 120 high quality students. Out of those 120 high quality students, about 70 of them, much more high quality, 70 of them were able to build a subgraph, deploy a subgraph for the first time, and come to know about the graph CLI, the mapping files, and understand the whole indexing sphere of blockchain ecosystem, and deploy a subgraph as well as query it for their different dashboards. So as of now, the program has been doing really well, and if everything goes great, we would have at the end at least 20 plus outreaches around the country, with at least 50 to 60 people from nothing, from zero to building a subgraph. That will be a great community booster for the students of India to come to know about Web3 and the cutting edge technology, as well as the ecosystem for India that we are building under the Graph ecosystem and the Graph Foundation, to lay the stone for subgraphs to be a standard in blockchain and for Web3 to, in general, be penetrated inside the engineering mindset of the world. That's it. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much for that update, Pranav. And from our side as Graph Advocates DAO, oh, here we go.
Whoa. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would like to add that through all of these efforts and also to the cool podcast that Pranav is hosting, we've been receiving a lot of high quality applications from India to the Graph Advocates program. So it's also very cool to see. So once again, thank you, Pranav and Paolo, for joining and sharing all of these updates. So for our next segment, we will hear from Andrea, who is a member of Graph Advocates DAO, about DAppCon Berlin, which was the first event sponsored by the Graph Advocates DAO events team. So Andrea, are you here?
Yeah, sure. But I will actually we will start with it. Accra. Let me share my screen. Chidubem is here, and he was there um, recently. Let me try to share this. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Yeah, then yeah, Chidubem, you can go first.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so Eid Accra, which it took place on September 7th to 9th, and it sort of marked like a significant milestone because it's the first time that West Africa is hosting like the inaugural Ethereum events, and it brought together the Ethereum community across the heart of West Africa, with the goal of learning, hacking, and also celebrating the future of decentralization. The Graph was a major sponsor. There were about 95 hackers that formed 15 teams. And at the Graph's booth, Simon and Jerry from Edge and Node and myself, we worked together to, periodically answer questions and, providing technical support, engaging, moving around and also engaging with the different teams that were hacking, and trying to figure out if they were actually using subgraphs for their dApps, and if no, why not? And if yes, we also sort of provide technical support and assistance. And our collaborative efforts went very well, and as the event itself also went very well. Kudos to the organizers for ensuring that everything started on time. The hacking went very well, and on the day the hackathon ended and they were to judge, each of the teams were also given an opportunity to do like a mini presentation about their dApp and the solution it was providing for Web3. So I think in all, it was a very good event. It was a success because of the 15 teams that um, participated in the hackathon. About 8 of them actually used the graph to query their dApps. So I think it was a good number, and I also look forward to more events like this in the future.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chidubem. It's great to see that there are those type of events happening in Africa, and also we had two Graph advocates who were part of the organizing team of Itakra, Likem and Abna. So a shout out to them too for organizing such a good event. Colson was mentioning before that we have been also in Berlin. Recently, we just came back from DAppCon, which was the first event sponsored by the Graph Advocates DAO on behalf of the Graph, which means that our events team managed all the processes for making this happen. DAppCon was part of Berlin Blockchain Week, and I, I think we can say it was a great success. We had a lot of people coming by the booth. I think it was hundreds of people, at least 300, coming by the booth, talking to us, even for hours. And we were very happy to see people from the community and interact with them. This event was highly technical in our opinion. Many people knew about the graph. already, so that was a very nice thing to see. We also had a talk by Simon, supercharge Web 2 data with Web3 technologies, and the audience received it very well. If you guys would like to watch it, I will send a link in the chat afterwards. Yeah, so everything went very well. The conference lasted 3 days, and we also got to meet in person some really cool members of the community, which we didn't meet before at events. Fred from Pinex and Martin. And I hope this is gonna work because we also have a video of how things went. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's working, but slowly. Oh, let me. Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Oh,
It's a
great. Okay.
little bit laggy, but it's working.
So yeah, unpacking the swag, setting up the booth. This is the first day. This little astronaut was a real hit. Everybody was asking what it is, but it was just for decoration. As I said, the booth was visited by people nonstop, so we were very active, and we had fun too. It's always nice to meet people from the community. We also had a POAP. And yeah, this is how it went. And to end everything in a fun way, we went to the after party. This is us on our way to the party. Yeah, so it's super nice to attend those type of events, and looking forward to the next ones. Thank you.
Very nice.
Andrea, there's a question about the riddle.
Oh yeah. Oh, so the thing is, we were since this was the first event sponsored by the Graph Advocates DAO, we realized that there are a lot of things you need to do before and during an event, and we managed to fix the POAP. I mean, to set up the POAP in the last day, which means that not many people got to mint it. I mean, like more than 30 did get to mint it. And what we did was at the after party, we took the POAP with us, and we made a riddle and posted on Twitter for people to find the POAP, which was carried by Simon. Yeah, that's what the riddle is about. And I mean, everybody from the community already knows Simon. He always wears very unique pants, and he's an OG in the community. So we figured it's the best way to hide the POAP. And I think, yeah, at least like 6 people got the POAP at the after party, so it was pretty fun. Thank you.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. And yeah, talking about POAPs, we will also be distributing a POAP for our Community Talk 27, and we will send that one to your Discord later on. So I just want to mention that. Before we end this Community Talk, we have one last segment, and we will hear from Lorena, who is a member of Graph Advocates DAO, and she's going to talk about the side event for ETH Argentina.
Thank you, Colson. Well, last month we have the Ethereum Argentina, an event, the main event for Ethereum in Buenos Aires. And we, with Arbitrum and Chainlink, we organized on 15th of August, we organized a SAI event. The SAI event was a workshop for developers and community. So we were focused on developers that want to build and to build subgraph or migration or migrate subgraph to Arbitrum. So it was a very, very important workshop because all the process and speaker were focused on that. Okay, Chainlink built and used for his own process the subgraph Uniswap v3 subgraph and then our speakers, we have a speaker from GrabOps and Agent No. We Juan Rodriguez Fau from GrabOps and people from GrabNode. And after that, we have a person from Arbitrum to organize all the process and create subgraph and migrate subgraph from, as I mentioned, mainnet to Arbitrum. The idea of this kind of event is try to onboard more people from Web2, the developer from to be more focused on Web3. And in addition of that, try to not only onboard people, but try to have more advocate from Advocate DAO and people that want to have a position on the ecosystem. So that's all. This event, this kind of event is not the first. We have last year on we organized with Chainlink same event for Ethereum Latam. And at the first of this year, in April, we have this one event, a similar event with Chainlink in Uruguay. This idea is to try to have this event focus on devs, focus on dev from Web 2 and Web 3 in all the countries in Latin America. And the idea is to have more technical advocate that can onboard devs and can explain in a different way what the graph is and try to onboard more people for to this ecosystem. That is the idea, to have the same event in Ethereum Mexico next month. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that update, Lorena. Before we conclude today's community talk, I would like to remind everyone that there is a new edition of Indexer office hours today in this server in about 2 hours at 1800 UTC. And also don't forget to check the monthly core developer updates on the forum. I would like to thank you for joining us on this episode of Community Talk. We will now open the floor for Q&A. And if you have no further questions, I would like to wish you a great day and see you again next month.